Hello, my friends. Pastor Mark, greet you again. Thank you for coming. Can this really be our fourth week of this series of sacred steps? Sacred steps that Jesus took and sacred steps that we ought to be taking with him. We're in a sacred space here, a place where God meets us, a place where God talks to us, a place where we talk to God and sing his praises and thank God for all that we have. Well, Jesus, remember, he was on Mount Transfiguration. He was in the Jordan River. He was talking to his disciples on the road to Jerusalem. And he took a trip to Jerusalem. And there he saw the temple in Jerusalem. I can't show you the temple in Jerusalem. I can show you the spot where the temple used to be. See this building with the iron dome? Not iron dome, that golden dome. That's the spot where the temple used to be. Way, way, way long time ago, the Roman government occupied Israel. That was the Roman Empire. And this is when Jesus lived. Jesus lived under Roman occupation. Well, a lot of Jewish revolutionaries decided that wasn't a good idea. Well, I don't know anyone who thought it was a good idea, except the Romans. But they had a revolution against the Roman government. And the Roman armies got mad. And they were very, very brutal and violent in putting down the revolution. And among other things that they did is the temple that used to sit here got burned down to the ground, utterly destroyed. Now, years later after that, when Muslims took political power over in Israel, they built this shrine to their prophet, Muhammad. And so this is the area where the temple is, but this is a Muslim holy place. It's not anymore a Jewish holy place. But you see these arches? These arches go back probably before the Roman Empire. These are very, very ancient. I'll show you a little bit more here. Let's see. Let me get you another picture. This is a closer view of this Muslim holy site. Now try to picture a Jewish temple sitting here, okay? Although it was from so long ago, no one really knows what it looked like. But back in Jesus' day, there was a Jewish temple sitting in this spot. Now, in the Jewish temple, there were certain places, like way on the inside of the temple, there was a place only priests could be in. And then a little further out, there was a place where men could be. Then a little further out, there was a place where women could be, all to pray to the God of Abraham, the Jewish God and father of Jesus Christ. Now, over here was a place that was called the court of the Gentiles. That's where anyone can pray. You didn't have to be Jewish to pray there. You could be an Eskimo and pray there. You could be a Native American from Dakota and be there and pray. You could be from Asia and come and pray. Anyone was welcome to pray in that place. I will show you a picture of that area in just a moment here, right here. In this courtyard here, in this courtyard was where anyone could pray. And a lot of people did. But the people who ran the temple, those people were more concerned about keeping the temple running than they were about Gentiles, non-Jews, being able to pray. Now, one of the things devout Jews did was they bought animals and they brought them up to that temple area and had them sacrificed to God. And you had to have a special coin to give contributions to the temple. And so they had a money change place here. You know, if you've ever traveled out of the country, you know what a money change place is. You give your American dollars if you come from the United States, and you get local currency. I've done that when I've traveled. Well, these temple employees did that. Now, if you've got people arguing over money exchange, and you've got all these animals there for sacrifice, you've got one heck of a lot of noise. And there were some people who say that these people who ran those concessions were cheats. They weren't really giving people the right amount of exchange for currency. And they would say to you, if you brought a sheep in for a sacrifice, oh, that's not a good enough sheep. You got to buy one of ours. There's some people who said that was a dishonest service. But even if it wasn't, there was so much noise. How could people pray? And Jesus, remember, he's traveling with his sacred steps, and his disciples are sacred stepping behind him. They got to this place, and Jesus said, "You've turned God's temple into a den of robbers. It's supposed to be a place to pray." And he made a lot of people angry that day, because he pulled open the pens where the animals were and he let them run. And he took the tables where there was coins on for the money changers and he threw them up in the air. Money was flying all over the place. Animals were running all over. You know, they smell and they make noise. Not good. See, all this was going on. Jesus said, "My temple has to be a house of prayer." Do we remember that? Do we make sure our houses are houses of God, houses of prayer? Do we make sure that if you go to church, that your church is open to everyone to come and pray, even people you don't like or don't agree with? My temple should be a house of prayer, said Jesus, on his sacred walk with sacred steps. And I hope we've listened. Let's make sure our houses where we live are houses of prayer. Make sure our churches that we pray in are open so that everyone is able to pray there. And maybe you don't go to church. I hope you do. I hope you go there, because there's nothing like a good prayer in the morning. It starts your whole day off great. Get to church. Be in a house of prayer. And make your house a house of prayer. This is Pastor Mark. I thank you for listening to this, the fourth of our series, Sacred Steps of Jesus. I hope to see you next week. May God bless you this whole week to come.